Pearl, you're a sensation on TikTok. What's your advice for younger generations who want to live a long and happy life?
Darling, first thing.
Hello, Miss Elizabeth Chiat. Hello, Miss Elizabeth.
You've seen over a century of life. What would you say is the most important secret to living so long?
What if the secret to living past 100 isn't found in expensive supplements or cutting-edge medical treatments, but in the simple wisdom of those who have already crossed that remarkable threshold? Across the globe, in remote villages and bustling cities alike, centenarians continue to thrive, their minds sharp and bodies resilient, defying our modern assumptions about aging and longevity. When researchers first began systematically interviewing people who had lived for a century or more, they expected to uncover complex scientific formulas or rare genetic mutations. Instead, they discovered something far more intriguing and accessible. These extraordinary individuals, scattered across continents and cultures, shared surprisingly similar approaches to eating and living, despite never having met or coordinated their habits. From the purple sweet potato fields of Okinawa to the mountainous regions of Sardinia, from the coastal villages of Greece to the valleys of Costa Rica, centenarians have been quietly practicing lifestyle patterns that modern science is only beginning to understand. Their kitchens tell stories of simplicity rather than sophistication, of abundance through restraint rather than excess through indulgence. Perhaps most fascinating is what these centenarians don't do. They don't count calories obsessively, weigh their protein portions, or follow the latest dietary trends. They don't spend fortunes on superfood powders or anti-aging supplements. Many have never stepped foot in a gym or owned a fitness tracker. Yet somehow they've managed to achieve what billions of dollars in medical research and pharmaceutical development continue to chase: the ability to live not just longer, but better. Their stories challenge everything we think we know about nutrition and health. A 115-year-old woman who grew vegetables in her backyard and never ate fast food. A 106-year-old who followed nutrition principles learned during World War II. A 110-year-old who prepared elaborate Sunday meals for her entire community. These aren't isolated cases or genetic anomalies, but patterns that emerge when researchers analyze hundreds of interviews and decades of dietary studies. What emerges from this wealth of data isn't a revolutionary new diet plan or a miraculous food discovery. Instead, it's a profound shift in how we think about eating, aging, and what it truly means to nourish our bodies for the long journey of life. The answers have been hiding in plain sight, practiced daily by those who have mastered the art of living well. Centenarian stories, personal insights from those who live beyond 100. Elizabeth Francis, 1909-2024, 115 years old, America's oldest living person. Until her passing, Elizabeth Francis lived through 2 world wars, witnessed 20 U.S. presidents, and saw countless inventions from television to smartphones. Born in Louisiana in 1909, she became a living symbol of resilience and faith, spending most of her remarkable life in Houston, Texas. Life philosophy. When asked about her secret to longevity, Elizabeth responded with characteristic directness. If the good Lord gives it to you, use it. Speak your mind, don't bite your tongue. She believed that expressing herself authentically and not holding back what she wanted to say was a crucial key to her well-being. Her granddaughter, Ethel Harrison, described her as having an eternally jolly personality, always asking, "How you doing? You're doing okay?" Her motto was simple but profound. Treat people like you want to be treated. Dietary habits. When ABC News asked Elizabeth what she ate, she simply said, "Everything." However, the specifics of her approach to food were telling. Her granddaughter, Ethel Harrison, shared, "She always grew her vegetables in the backyard. I never saw her go to a fast food restaurant much, like Chick-fil-A and all the places I like to go. She never did that." Elizabeth never smoked and didn't drink alcohol. Instead of purchasing processed foods, she cultivated her own vegetables and consistently prioritized fresh, homegrown produce. This approach not only ensured nutritional quality, but also maintained regular physical activity through gardening. Lifestyle choices. Elizabeth never learned to drive, instead walking or using public transportation throughout her life, a habit that inadvertently created daily physical activity. She lived with her 95-year-old daughter, Dorothy, and was primarily cared for by her granddaughter. Despite her advanced age, she maintained strong social connections through her church community, where she had been an active member for years. Visitors, friends, and fellow congregation members visited her daily, and she maintained conversations without needing hearing aids well into her final years. Health secrets. Elizabeth attributed her longevity to her faith in God and eating fresh foods from her garden. She told reporters that despite living through 2 world wars, segregation, multiple pandemics, and dramatic technological changes, she maintained the same hearing and didn't need glasses. Her approach to health was holistic, combining spiritual faith, physical activity through gardening, social connections, and a diet based on whole, unprocessed foods grown in her own backyard. Pearl Taylor, 103 years old, the Jamaican grandma. TikTok sensation. At 103, Pearl Taylor has become an unlikely social media star known as the Jamaican grandma on TikTok, where she shares life wisdom that has resonated with millions. Living independently in Dayton, Ohio, she exercises by walking in Walmart and credits a special diet and positive mindset for her remarkable health and vitality. Philosophy of self-love. Pearl's most famous piece of advice centers around self-love. Love. I really love myself. You have got to think about yourself first. You help yourself first. She expands on this philosophy, explaining, whatever our life is, we create it. We have to take responsibility, good or bad. It's all about you. It's not about anything out there. It's all how you perceive. This isn't selfishness, but rather the understanding that self-love is the foundation for extending love to others. Multicultural background. Born in Cuba to a Pakistani father and Jamaican mother, Pearl and her 4 sisters moved to Jamaica when she was 3. In 1947, she moved to the United States, settling in Ohio, where there weren't a lot of people who looked like her. This diverse cultural background influenced her approach to food and life, teaching her resilience and adaptability. Signature diet. Pearl's daily routine includes eating papaya every morning, which she calls the fruit of long life. She learned about this habit from her family's papaya cultivation in Jamaica. According to the American Heart Association, papaya is rich in potassium, fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Every other day, she drinks a special green juice recipe she learned from a health food store owner 30 years ago. The recipe includes fresh aloe vera cubes, kale, parsley, ginger, celery, powdered greens, water, and Splenda for sweetening. My digestion is really great, and I've been doing it for about 30 years, and she says, cooking philosophy. Pearl believes strongly in home cooking for good health. One TikTok video shows her frying golden brown caramelized plantains in her kitchen. She observes that her family members often have stomach problems, which she attributes to the typical American diet heavy on beef, chicken, and pork. While she occasionally indulges in ribs, her diet consists mainly of fish, vegetables, and salads. She allows herself occasional treats like ice cream, sweet wine, and chips, believing in balance rather than restriction. Physical activity and independence. Despite her age, Pearl lives independently in a 2-story home, navigating stairs and doing her own grocery shopping. She exercises by walking at Walmart and recently needed a walker only due to a back injury. Her granddaughter Taylor Bernal attributes much of Pearl's longevity to her hyper-independence. The fact that she has lived on her own for years, eaten healthily, stayed active, and maintained a positive mindset. Family longevity. Longevity runs in Pearl's family. One sister lived to 104, another reached 100, and a third passed away at 93. Only one sister didn't reach old age, dying in her 60s from diabetes. This family pattern suggests both genetic and lifestyle factors contributing to their extended lifespans. Shirley Hodes, 106 years old, the Mediterranean diet advocate, Shirley Hodes at 106, represents the power of simplicity and education in achieving longevity. Living in an assisted living facility in North Carolina, she maintains regular phone contact with her 103-year-old sister Ruth, calling 3 times weekly despite being separated by over 800 miles. Educational foundation. Hodes credits much of her dietary knowledge to a Red Cross nutrition course she took during World War II. I did like to eat a simple, balanced diet without too much sweets, she explains. This wartime education became the foundation for a lifetime of healthy eating habits that closely resembled what we now know as the Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet approach. Her diet includes fish, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. She makes conscious choices to limit animal fat consumption and drinks only skim milk. This approach, adopted decades before the Mediterranean diet became popular in nutrition circles, demonstrates how traditional wisdom often aligns with modern scientific recommendations. Intellectual engagement. Despite never having the opportunity to attend college when young, due to her family's financial constraints as the youngest of 8 children, Hodes maintains an insatiable curiosity. After retiring, she audited classes at the local college, sitting in the front row to see and hear properly, and aced her courses. She continues to listen to nonfiction audiobooks about diverse topics like elephants, the Jews of Salonika, and opera singer Jesse Norman. Social connections. Family relationships remain central to Hodes's life philosophy. She emphasizes that close relationships are very important. They keep you going. Her marriage was particularly fulfilling. I've been very lucky. My husband was easy to get along with, she recalls. Even after his death, she maintains that the people you're surrounded with, friends, relatives, family, have an outsized effect on your well-being and are what you'll remember the most. Physical activity. Throughout her life, Hodes prioritized walking as both exercise and transportation. When I lived at home, I would walk with friends at the reservoir. It was just wonderful. A 5-mile walk, and I did it every morning. Uphill and downhill, so it really gave you a workout. She chose walking partly for practical reasons. It was the cheapest thing you could have that I enjoyed, but it provided consistent cardiovascular exercise throughout her adult life. Mental sharpness. At 106, Hodes maintains remarkable mental acuity. She explains her approach. Some people aren't interested in anybody but themselves, and she's deliberately different. Her curiosity about others keeps her mind engaged. People like to talk about themselves. Just give them a chance to open up and remember what they tell you. This social engagement, combined with continuous learning, has helped her maintain cognitive function well into her second century. Gratitude and perspective. Hodes embodies a philosophy of gratitude. I'm in decent health, enjoying health, thankful for a wonderful life. That sustains me and keeps me going. She acknowledges that while she's had illnesses and problems, she's overcome them. Her perspective on aging is notably positive. I don't feel old, that's the truth, she says, maintaining excitement about learning new things, especially from books. Ruth Onley, 110 years old, the super centenarian soul food cook. Ruth Onley represents one of the rarest achievements in human longevity, reaching 110 years old as a supercentenarian. Born on June 18, 1914 in Weverton, Maryland, she has witnessed over a century of American history from World War I through the digital age. Living in downtown Frederick, Maryland since 1967, Ruth has become a local icon and inspiration. Faith as foundation. Ruth consistently attributes her remarkable longevity to 2 primary factors. God first, for keeping me, and then my family for always being so good to me. Her faith provides both structure and comfort, as she explains with characteristic humor. God told me my days were all numbered, but he didn't tell me the number. This deep spiritual connection has sustained her through decades of change and loss, including the early death of her husband, Robert, when she was still raising 5 children. The Sunday Soul Food legacy. Food has been central to Ruth's life, both as nourishment and as the expression of love for her community. For decades, she prepared elaborate soul food buffets every Sunday after church for her family and neighbors. Her legendary menu included chicken salad sandwiches, roast chicken, ham, candied sweet potatoes, greens, macaroni and cheese, cabbage, fried chicken, peach cobbler, and pound cake. This wasn't just cooking, it was community building through food, creating bonds that have sustained her through her later years. Daily nutrition routine. Even at 110, Ruth maintains consistent eating habits. She begins each morning with oatmeal, cream of wheat, or whole grain pancakes, providing sustained energy through complex carbohydrates. Her lunch and dinner typically include meat and vegetables, following traditional Southern cooking patterns that emphasize hearty, satisfying meals. For beverages, she prefers plain, warm water throughout the day. Her approach to desserts is more flexible. She enjoys root beer floats, banana splits, and ice cream. treating these as occasional pleasures rather than restrictions. Food preservation skills. Ruth's relationship with food extends beyond cooking to preservation. She became skilled at canning, regularly preparing applesauce, string beans, corn, tomatoes, jam, jelly, pickles, and pickled relish. This skill set, common in her generation, ensured year-round access to nutrients and reflected a deep understanding of seasonal eating and food security that modern generations have largely lost. Family structure and support. Ruth's family has grown to extraordinary proportions: 5 children, 15 grandchildren, 50 great-grandchildren, 25 great-great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-great-grandchildren. This multi-generational support system provides both practical care and emotional fulfillment. "It's the way my children take care of me," she explains when asked about her longevity. Her children maintain a routine of spending several days with her overnight each month, ensuring she never lacks for companionship or assistance. Mental engagement. Despite her age, Ruth maintains an active mind through games and entertainment. She's competitive at card games, Scrabble, word searches, and Connect Four, often beating much younger family members. She spends her days crocheting and watching game shows on television, activities that provide both mental stimulation and fine motor skill maintenance. This combination of cognitive challenge and creative expression has helped preserve her mental acuity well into her second century. Historical perspective. Ruth's father lived to nearly 105, suggesting genetic factors may contribute to her longevity. However, her lifestyle choices, particularly around food, family, and faith, have clearly played crucial roles. She represents a generation that understood food as medicine, community as essential support, and faith as daily comfort. Her story demonstrates how traditional wisdom about nutrition, family structures, and spiritual practices can contribute to exceptional longevity. Daisy McFadden, 99 years old, featured in 2010. The structured nutritionist. When Forbes interviewed Daisy McFadden in 2010 at age 99, she had already established herself as a remarkable example of healthy aging. Her approach to nutrition was notably systematic and disciplined, providing a clear framework for understanding how consistent dietary habits can support longevity. Structured daily nutrition. Daisy shared her specific daily meal patterns with remarkable clarity, demonstrating the power of routine in maintaining health. Her breakfast consisted of oatmeal, cranberry juice, and a banana, a combination providing complex carbohydrates, antioxidants, and potassium. This breakfast pattern ensured steady energy release throughout the morning while delivering essential nutrients for cardiovascular and digestive health. For lunch, she maintained a focus on fresh vegetables and lean protein through salads containing beets, cucumbers, tomatoes, and either chicken or fish. This meal pattern provided fiber, vitamins, minerals, and high-quality protein while keeping calories moderate. The variety of colorful vegetables ensured a broad spectrum of antioxidants and phytonutrients. Beverage philosophy. Perhaps most notably, Daisy maintained a strict policy regarding beverages that set her apart from typical American consumption patterns. "I don't drink soda at all, and never have," she told Forbes. Instead, she chose water, juice, milk, or iced tea. This choice, maintained throughout her nearly 100 years, meant she avoided the high sugar content, artificial additives, and empty calories that characterize most soft drinks. Her beverage choices provided hydration, nutrients, and natural flavors without compromising her health. Consistency over complexity. What made Daisy's approach remarkable was not its complexity, but its consistency. She didn't follow trendy diets or complicated nutritional programs. Instead, she established simple, sustainable patterns and maintained them for decades. Her meals emphasized whole foods, appropriate portions, and regular timing, principles that modern nutritional science has validated as optimal for long-term health. Active lifestyle integration. Beyond her structured eating habits, Daisy remained remarkably active well into her 90s. She was a member of the New York chapter of the Girlfriends and actively participated in the 60-plus swingers. At the time of her interview, she served as a certified instructor for the Stay Well program and worked at the RAIN Senior Center in the Bronx. This wasn't just participation. She was leading wellness programs for others, demonstrating that her health practices had maintained both her physical capabilities and cognitive sharpness. Simplicity and sustainability. Daisy's story illustrates that longevity nutrition doesn't require expensive superfoods, complicated meal plans, or constant dietary changes. Her success came from choosing wholesome, accessible foods and maintaining consistent patterns over many decades. Her oatmeal breakfast, vegetable-rich lunches, and avoidance of processed beverages represent choices available to virtually anyone, regardless of economic circumstances. Teaching through. Example. Even in her late 90s, Daisy continued working as a wellness instructor, sharing her knowledge with others. This role kept her socially engaged, mentally stimulated, and physically active while allowing her to contribute to her community's health. Her approach to aging emphasized continued contribution rather than withdrawal, maintaining purpose and connection that research shows are crucial for healthy longevity. Legacy of practical wisdom. Daisy McFadden's story provides a template for sustainable, healthy living. Her structured approach to nutrition, combined with continued social engagement and physical activity, demonstrates that exceptional longevity often results from consistent application of simple principles rather than complex interventions. Her systematic daily routine, oatmeal, cranberry juice, and banana for breakfast, vegetable salads with lean protein for lunch, water, juice, or tea instead of soda, offers a practical framework that anyone can adopt and maintain throughout their lifetime. Based on the detailed analysis of these 5 remarkable centenarians, several striking patterns emerge in their dietary habits and lifestyle choices that contributed to their extraordinary longevity. Common dietary foundations. All 5 centenarians prioritize whole, unprocessed foods as the cornerstone of their nutrition. Elizabeth Francis grew her own vegetables, Pearl Taylor emphasized fresh papaya and homemade green juice. Shirley followed Mediterranean principles with fish and whole grains. Ruth prepared traditional soul food from scratch, and Daisy McFadden maintained structured meals with oatmeal and fresh salads. None relied on processed foods, supplements, or trendy diets. Beverage choices. A unanimous pattern emerged in their beverage consumption. They avoided or minimized processed drinks. Daisy explicitly stated, "I don't drink soda at all and never have," while others chose water, herbal teas, and natural juices. This consistent avoidance of sugary, artificial beverages likely contributed significantly to their metabolic health over decades. Cooking and food preparation. Each centenarian emphasized home cooking and food preparation as central to their health. Ruth prepared elaborate Sunday meals for her community. Pearl Taylor believes home cooking is important for good health, and Elizabeth Francis never visited fast food restaurants. This hands-on approach to food ensured quality control, appropriate portions, and maintained their connection to traditional eating patterns. Balance over restriction. Rather than eliminating entire food groups, these centenarians practiced moderation. Pearl Taylor occasionally enjoyed ice cream and wine. Ruth indulged in desserts like root beer floats, and Shirley limited, rather than eliminated, sweets. Their approach was sustainable precisely because it wasn't overly restrictive. The lesson is clear. Exceptional longevity stems from consistent, simple dietary choices maintained over decades, emphasizing whole foods, home cooking, and mindful moderation rather than complex nutritional interventions. Major scientific discoveries. From recent systematic reviews 2024. The year 2024 marked a watershed moment in longevity science with the publication of the first comprehensive systematic review employing rigorous methodology across multiple databases to investigate diet, medication use, and lifestyle practices contributing to successful aging among individuals with extreme longevity. This groundbreaking research, analyzing 34 observational studies encompassing centenarians and near-centenarians worldwide, has fundamentally reshaped our understanding of the dietary foundations of exceptional human longevity. Revolutionary dietary composition findings. The most striking revelation emerged from pooled analysis showing that centenarians maintain remarkably consistent macronutrient profiles, 59.6 carbohydrates, 18.5 protein, and 29.3 fat. This challenges contemporary low-carb diet trends and validates traditional dietary patterns emphasizing complex carbohydrates as the primary energy source. Over 60 of centenarians consumed diverse diets, while fewer than 20 preferred salty foods. a pattern that researchers directly linked to lower mortality risks and reduced functional decline. This finding contradicts the modern Western tendency toward dietary restriction and monotony, instead supporting the principle that nutritional diversity, not limitation, promotes longevity. Salt intake as a critical longevity factor. Perhaps the most actionable discovery involves sodium consumption patterns. The systematic review found that centenarians consistently maintain low-salt diets, with a single study measuring daily sodium intake, documenting just 1.6 grams, well within WHO recommendations of less than 2 grams daily. This aligns with traditional Okinawan diets containing an estimated 1.1 grams of sodium. Most significantly, individuals with higher salt preferences showed a 3.6-fold increased risk of physical function impairment compared to those without salt preferences, establishing salt restriction as one of the most measurable interventions for healthy aging. Rural lifestyle and environmental factors. The research uncovered a compelling geographic pattern. 78 of centenarians and near-centenarians lived in rural areas, suggesting that environmental factors beyond diet contribute significantly to extreme longevity. This rural advantage likely encompasses multiple variables, including reduced air pollution, increased physical activity through agricultural work, stronger social connections, and better access to fresh, locally grown foods. The finding challenges urban-centric approaches to healthy aging and suggests that environmental context plays a crucial role in translating dietary knowledge into longevity outcomes. Sleep satisfaction and holistic health. An unexpected finding revealed that 68 of centenarians reported sleep satisfaction, indicating that sleep quality, not just diet, represents a fundamental pillar of extreme longevity. This discovery emphasizes the interconnected nature of healthy aging, where nutritional choices, physical activity, social connections, and sleep patterns work synergistically rather than independently. The research suggests that focusing solely on dietary interventions without addressing sleep hygiene may limit longevity benefits. Genetic versus environmental contributions. The 2024 research validated earlier estimates that non-genetic or environmental factors account for over 60% of successful aging, with lifestyle and environmental factors interacting with genetic, epigenetic, and phenotypic factors to influence longevity. This finding empowers individuals by demonstrating that exceptional longevity isn't primarily determined by genetic lottery, but rather by sustained lifestyle choices accessible to most people. Global longevity projection and population impact. The systematic review documented an unprecedented fourfold increase in global centenarians from 151,000 in 2000 to 573,000 in 2021, with projections reaching 3.5 million by 2050. This demographic shift validates that exceptional longevity is becoming increasingly achievable rather than remaining a rare phenomenon, making the dietary insights from current centenarians immediately relevant for aging populations worldwide. Polyphenol and bioactive compound validation. Complementary 2024 research confirmed the importance of polyphenol-rich foods, including coffee, tea, extra virgin olive oil, blueberries, and avocados in promoting healthy aging. The convergence of evidence from observational studies, small-scale randomized controlled trials, and mechanistic studies established that these compounds provide measurable protection against age-related cellular damage. Emerging evidence also highlighted potential benefits of culinary herbs and spices, particularly turmeric and other compounds with anti-inflammatory properties. Limitations and future research directions. The systematic review acknowledged important limitations, including reporting biases in dietary recalls from centenarians and high variability between studies that prevented traditional meta-analysis. However, researchers emphasized that future studies should leverage diverse data sources, including digital technology, nutritional biomarkers, and microbiome analysis to capture changes in this extreme aging population more accurately. Practical implementation framework. The 2024 findings provide a clear framework for dietary longevity interventions, maintaining diverse, nutritionally balanced diets with controlled salt intake, emphasizing whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and moderate amounts of high-quality protein, while avoiding processed foods and excessive sodium. The research validates that these changes, combined with rural or nature-connected lifestyles and adequate sleep satisfaction, can significantly impact healthy aging outcomes. Paradigm shift in longevity science. Most importantly, the 2024 systematic review represents a paradigm shift from anecdotal centenarian stories to evidence-based longevity science. By establishing rigorous methodological standards and identifying consistent patterns across diverse global populations, this research provides the scientific foundation necessary for developing effective public health interventions and personalized longevity strategies based on validated dietary principles rather than speculation or individual